Welcome to MBC Exclusive. My name is Alina Femlamba, and in this edition, we're joined by a man whose name stands out on the political scene, Brown James Mpinganjira, aka BJ. Welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you for having me.
It has been years since you dumped the Democratic Progressive Party as its party spokesperson, joining the MCP camp. What motivated you to come to this decision?
In arriving at decisions of this nature in politics, there are so many things involved. These are not decisions that are taken lightly. These are decisions that one takes after thorough consultations and indeed your own inward search. You search your own spirit and ask yourself questions whether this is what you want to do going forward and for whatever reasons. I had left the DPP as a spokesperson by the time I decided to go and join Malawi Congress Party. But of course it was just a matter of days. I arrived at the decision at the time that I would serve the nation better supporting the president because I thought I bought into his philosophy, I bought into his program, and I thought that some of the things that he espoused were the sort of things that I would have done had I been in his shoes.
Talk of philosophy, which I believe is in line with President Dr. Lazarus Chakwera. What specific philosophy is in line with your thinking?
I think the most important thing is to think about the Malawian first. This is what we have felt over the years. If we can put the Malawian at the center of it all, that whatever I am doing, I'm doing it for the Malawian, not for myself, then we can do far much better than we are doing now. And I heard that from his mouth, and I liked it. And I thought that this is the sort of approach that we should be taking. What am I in this position for? I'm in this position to save the local person, to save the voiceless person, to save that poor person, to save that defenseless person. If you are in office and those are your values, then you are in the right place.
Let me take you back at the time you were joining the MCP. You promised to make MCP strong in the southern region. How are you performing so far?
I cannot assess myself, but I can assess the work that we're doing as a team, and I think that we are doing well because the most important thing is to get to the places where MCP never got to before, to reach the people that never received the MCP news before, to get the people who are willing to change and to support the government. And I think that in that respect, we have done fairly well. I wish I could say we have done tremendously well, but I think we have. Yes, there's still a lot of work to be done. It's too early yet to claim victory, but I see distinct changes in areas where MCP was not popular. I see distinct changes. And
which areas are these?
In the belt, in the Lome belt, I see distinct changes. Even in the outer skirts of Blantyre here, I see distinct changes. I travel a lot. I travel in the parts of the eastern region. I see distinct changes. I see people who are willing and ready to accept, to change, to experience a new way of life, to experience new leadership. And I think that we are doing quite well in that respect. We have been to areas where We weren't there before, where we have planted the party, we have planted structures. That is encouraging.
But then, considering that the southern region has a stronghold of opposition, we're just curious to know, how have you managed to strengthen the MCP in the region? You've mentioned of the eastern region, the Lomwe Belt, and some of the areas outside Blantyre.
You see, in politics, you have to have a base. If you don't have a base, you have nobody to convey it. You have nobody to influence. In politics, people have to trust you. If you have people who trust you, you can build upon that trust with those people and build something bigger. You can't start from nothing. I have had the privilege of being in politics since 1992, 93, and therefore I have lots of people, influential people that I know, that I can reach out to and say, can we try this? Some will say, yes, let's try it. Some will say, no, it's not for me. So you proceed. You can't win them all, but the point is you make progress all the time.
Speaking of trust, two of your sons are members of parliament under the DPP ticket. Why should people trust you?
Why shouldn't they? First of all, I want to thank God for the rare blessing that I have two sons who are members of parliament. It's not something that happens every day, and I am always very grateful to God for this blessing. And of my children from the age of 3, I taught them meticulously to think for themselves. They should not be led by any mob. They should not be led by anybody else, but they should stand for their own views and stand up for it.
But then, you are driving the MCP agenda.
Yes, I am.
This is politics,
yes,
and they are driving the DPP agenda.
Yes, they are.
Doesn't it bother you?
No, it doesn't bother me. What is important for me is that you should do what you believe in. If you really believe in what you are doing, then you're good to go. You are
one of the country's champions for democracy, and I'm just curious to know, do you feel like these differences that is currently in your family as we speak, and who knows, it is the very same situation in other families, do you think this reflects well on a healthy democracy, or it's the other way around?
Actually, this is testimony of the fact that we can live together in diversity. I've told you that I enjoy the best of relations with my sons. If we didn't get on together, if we didn't accept each other's views and our differences, we wouldn't be able to get on together. No, I really think that that sort of relationship is a building stone towards a much healthier society, a more accommodative society, where people accept each other's views and live as normal friends or relations without having to fight. Should
Malawians expect to see your name on a constituency ballot in 2025?
No. No. I'm going to go flat out and campaign for Dr. Chakwera. If I waste my time with constituency politics, I could get pinned down in my constituency, and I wouldn't render the desired service and support that I must give to Dr. Chakwera, especially here in the southern region.
In case you're just tuning in, this is MBC Exclusive. My name is Alina Femlamba, and my guest today is veteran politician BJ Brown James Mpinganjira. We'll be back after this short break. Welcome back. This is MBC Exclusive with me, Alina Mlamba. My guest today is veteran politician Brown James Mpinganjira, also known as BJ. So, you are one of the politicians to have suffered and bared the consequences of hate speech. How has this affected you?
If there's something that needs to be rooted out of politics, it is hate speech. It does not help the electorate in any way. But I've discovered over the years, it is usually politicians in trouble, those who see their fortunes taking a wrong turn, who initiate hate speeches. They think that they will make themselves popular, but also that they will derail the other person. But it does not help at all. Hate speech, we forget that there's life after the campaign. I've been through this several times before. And after the campaign, the same people who said the nastiest of things to you want to come back to you and ask for help.
Before we talk about the campaign and the help that they come seeking after that, I just want us to look at you. How has this affected you as an individual?
It can have devastating consequences on your family, on your children, on your relationships, on businesses. It can have devastating relationships. Remember that we have a wider society, and there are those who would understand that this is all false. There are those who would be saying, well, maybe there's something to it, you know, and cling on to that. So it does have some negative effect on one's life. I really, you will see that I no longer call anybody any names. I really wouldn't want to inflict the sort of pain on anybody that my people in the past inflicted upon me. I don't think that it's worth it. Not just for a single vote, no, it's not worth it. I think that we need to do this with a high degree of integrity, where after everything else, we can still sit down and discuss the future of our country. The fact that somebody has lost and somebody has won does not necessarily mean that the one who has lost does not have ideas. They do have ideas, but their ideas may not have been articulated well enough, or they may not have been good enough in certain areas. But in certain areas, they do have ideas that could help those in power to advance development of the nation. So we need to be conscious of that all the time, that we can sit together after campaigns and build our country together.
Politics often comes with heated rhetoric, especially during campaign. Do you think there is a line that is not supposed to be crossed, especially during campaign?
There is a line. Unless there is a real need, there is no point in going after the person. Go after their policies. Go after what they have said. Go after their, to talk about their families, to talk about that's a bit below the belt, and it doesn't help anybody at all.
Let's talk about your contribution to Malawi's development. You were instrumental to the establishment of various institutions, notably TVM, now MBC TV. Now, being a politician and you are on the forefront of politics, do you think your continued involvement in politics has affected your professional life somewhere else?
I'm glad, and I really thank God that God used me to be of some use in this country. I look back with satisfaction. The young generation will not know and understand that there was no TV in this country when even as late as 1994, 94, 95, there was no TV in this country. But I thank God that I went out and God led me. I mean, even for people, for the young generation, they can't understand that there was only one radio channel in this country, MBC One, period. It would be impossible for them to see in their mind how we could have lived with only one radio channel. But I came, when I was appointed Minister of Information, I came in and introduced MBC Radio 2. And before I left information, I was assisted by the donor community to introduce Makra in this country because we were resisting opening up the airwaves for obvious reasons, because nobody had experienced it before. We didn't know what it would be like to have many radio stations, most of them not sympathetic to government. Nobody knew that, and everybody was kind of scared. What, you want to give licenses to other people to attack? But finally, cabinet got to understand, and we put together the Makra Act, of course it was implemented after I left the Minister of Information. But at that time we had done everything. We had already taken the act to Parliament, so I claim credit for that.
Are you proud of what you did?
I am proud of. What disappoints me now is the level of journalism.
All right.
That leaves a lot to be desired, because I don't know where we have gone wrong, but anybody can simply wake up one morning and decide, from today I'm going to be a journalist, and their motivation is probably to destroy somebody else who they don't like, or who, with whom they have differences. Now that's not what journalism is about.
So what needs to be done to rectify this?
I think that first of all, the institutions that look at these policies must be strengthened. Makra must be a bit more aggressive, but your own bodies, journalist bodies, must be a bit more aggressive. I think there is the camaraderie relationship that oh well, the one who has made a mistake is our colleague. Tomorrow it might be me making a mistake. That too is a mistake. We must be able to help those who are not practicing journalism the way it should be practiced. We must help them either by dismissing them, stopping them from continuing in that field, and giving them training so that they can become better. But they are dangerous not only to themselves but to the nation, to society at large, if they are allowed to continue recklessly the way they are going. There are people who sit at home and create, knowing that they are creating a lie. They create a lie that could easily cause war between a civil war in this country, or war between this country and another country. There are people who will sit in their home and deliberately concoct lies. Now that's not correct. That's not correct. That's not correct. It should be condemned. It must be stopped. We encourage everyone to join journalism. We encourage everyone to disseminate information. Yes, there is a freedom of information. It must be encouraged. But freedom of information has responsibilities as well. I mean, nobody has any right to destroy the life of somebody else maliciously without any basis. That's not correct.
PJ, some believe that statesmen like yourself need to step back from politics so that they pave way for others. Why are you still active in politics?
Well, I have a few more years, just a few more years. I thought that a few people would come and learn from me. But yes, I do see the need to stay above the fray. does the generation today understand that? Do they understand these things? Do they understand that they can learn from others who have been through the mill? Do they understand that it is important to learn from others in order for them to perfect their own act? I don't know how we can hammer this message home, but it is something that needs to be done, and that's why I refer to your own media bodies that they are not doing enough. In certain cases, the camaraderie thing, the one who has done this is a personal friend. We know each other, and if tomorrow I may make the same mistake, but that is not helping the nation. It is not helping the profession. Now the profession is in serious disrepute. People no longer take the profession seriously. They think that everybody is a liar. Everybody is mentally deformed, because people are saying the things that shouldn't be said by journalists at all.
From your experience, you've been in politics for years. Is this the right path for you?
It is. Again, I say this thing. What is right for you is what your conviction tells you. Because there is no rule book that says you'll do this at this stage, you'll do this at this stage. It is your conviction. Do I have something to offer? If the answer is yes, and I want to save, then I'll continue. Do I have the energy to continue to offer the services that I want to offer? If the answer is yes, at that point, you continue. But you see, these things are automatic. You reach a stage, you don't need to be told by anybody. You reach a stage where your own body cannot support your ideas, your convictions, your everything. So you step back. It is automatic.
You have been affiliated with 4 major political parties. Are you a greedy politician or simply an opportunist?
I am very pragmatic.
Okay.
If I can't change a system, and I know the system is going in the wrong direction, I will not hesitate to speak my mind and tell whosoever it is that this is wrong, this is untenable. So I did everything I did because I believed in serving the people of this country. I believed in doing the best for this country. And that's why I told you that I followed Dr. Chakwera because of his policy of putting the Malawian first, putting the poor person first, putting the voiceless person first, putting the one who cannot defend themselves first. I was very attracted with that sort of approach, and this is what all of us should be doing. I wish all political parties had the same philosophy, in spite of many other differences. But I wish all the political parties had the same philosophy, that anybody who goes into government, they put the focus should be the Malawian first, the poor person first, the powerless person first. If we could achieve that, we'll achieve a far much better Malawi than we can ever think of.
BJ, it was nice having you in this edition.
It was a pleasure having me. Thank you.
And that brings us to the end of this edition of MBC Exclusive. We were honored to host veteran politician Brown James Mpinganjira. My name is Mpinganjira Mlamba. Many thanks for watching. Until next time, goodbye.